Hi, today we're going to create some expandable text views. Sure, you could use some available libraries, however, it's really not that much, so we're going to build them completely from scratch. So that you can see how it looks like in the end. You can see it in the emulator. We have some buttons here to expand the text views, and everything is packed inside a scroll view. So, alright, let's start our new project. And in the new Android Studio version, click on empty views activity in case you want to code in Java. And we just call the new project Expandable TextViews and create the new project. So just let me quickly close the old one I used to show you the final result. Once the new project is opened, we directly start with the layout. We open it. We change the constraint layout here to scroll view. And let's delete the text view here. So inside of the scroll view, we bring in a constraint layout which has the width of the parent and wraps content for height. So in the constraint layout, we set our text views and buttons. So one text view for the header, heading, which is content wrap content, but it has to be constrained, of course. We're gonna do this later on so that it's vertically centered on the button. So we're gonna do it a bit later. So we give it an ID, heading 1, TV. And then we're going to add an image view for the button. Later on we will change that to fixed width, but first we're going to create the images. We use arrow up and arrow down, therefore we use the vector asset. And use just the common clip arts here. So we're gonna search for arrow down, call it just IC arrow down. So one's great for arrow down and another one for arrow up. Again, I see arrow up, great. And now we can use it in here at the source. So by default we want to have the text collapsed. So we're going to use arrow down and constrain it to top of parent and end to end of parent. So we're gonna set some margins so that it just looks a bit nicer. Just change the size to, yeah, just say about 40 dp. Yeah, it looks okay. And now we can constrain the text view to the button so that it's vertically centered. And we just quickly add the text, heading 1, could set style to bold. And now we can constrain it to top of, we're gonna set an ID button 1. And now constrain it top to top of button 1 and bottom to bottom of button 1. Yeah, now bottom to bottom of. And now it's vertically centered to the button. Gonna set a margin to the beginning, the start, and 20 dp, and yes, we have to set constraint start to start of parent. And now in the last step we add our text view, rep content. We're gonna give it an ID text1. Let's just quickly change this to small letters. Normally I use small letters here. So the text view will be constrained as well. Actually can set it to the header or the button, actually doesn't really matter. So we just use top to bottom of heading 1 TV. And start to start of parent. So here we shouldn't work with margins because with long texts it overrides it. So we use a padding of 20 dp. That should work. And now we're going to set the text. We just use lorem ipsum. We use it as a source, otherwise it will be too long in here. So we take the string resource. So now we have one header, a button, and a text view like it should be. So we can, so we just copy everything here and bring everything inside. And second time. So here goes heading 2, button 2, and text 2. So we have to adjust the constraints and have to make button 1 to top to bottom of text 1 so that it's below the second text and moves down once text 1 is expanding. So the second heading will be constrained with the button 2, so that's again vertically centered there. And now the text below heading 2 TV. So actually this is how it should be. Just add the text. So we just use lorem ipsum here from Wikipedia. Copy everything. And add it to the string resource. We just use it 3 times. That should be sufficient. And yes, it's big enough so that the scroll view is used. And now we set the visibility to gone by default for both text views. And now we're gonna switch to main activity Java. And we're adding everything we need here. So text view, the text text 1, and of course the second text, so text 2 here, text 2, and finally the buttons, so image view, button 1, and button 2. So actually that's it. We're gonna directly add the set on click listener to the buttons. So we have to differentiate if the text is visible or if it's gone. So use if text 1 get visibility is gone, then we want that text 1 is going to get visible on button click and else, and we don't need else if as we have only gone and visible. So else text 1 set visibility to gone. And in addition, we have to change the buttons on click then. So we want this one to have arrow down, but on click and the text is visible, to change it to arrow up. So if the view is gone, the button should be set the image resource to out of trouble arrow up, and else it should be button 1 set to out of trouble IC arrow down. So actually that should be everything for button 1, so we use the same again for button 2. Button 2 here, button 2, text 2, again, and again, text 2, and button 2. So actually that's it. We can test this one. Let's have a look at the Cradle file. That's fine. And now actually we're done, so that we can test that. And here we got the emulator running, so can click here and click here. Unfortunately heading 1 here anyway, but you can click here, it works. So the buttons are changing, you can scroll here, and actually that's what we want to do. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.